el tucanazo. ¡Órale! Con este ritmo se mueven todos.
Welcome to James Brownie's book review. Today we're reading the Book of LaCroix, another testament of Matt Morris. I have gone through meticulously and highlighted in red pen all of the portions of this book where just things don't make sense or things collapse in on themselves. We'll come back to the opening title because that one's interesting. We'll come back to that at the end. So first we will start off with the Book of LaCroix, an account written by the hand of Croix. So first of all, it starts off with the title, Upon Plates Taken from Plates. Now, I knew people who liked LaCroix were absolutely insane. I did not know they drank it off of plates. I'm just confused. Like, I know us cola drinkers are apparently heretics, but I drink mine out of a glass, and I always assumed that's what a glass was intended for. Apparently not. And then the Book of LaCroix, it mentions three tribes other than the LaCroix people. The Colonites, the Fentonites, and the Pepperines. The Colonites make sense to me. Coca-Cola is the most, one of the best drinks out there. But why Dr. Pepper? Okay, everyone knows the second most popular drink in the world is root beer, right? There's root beer and grape Fanta. Those are the two most popular other drinks. I don't know why you had Dr. Pepper in here. It just makes no sense. And again, just mentioning the Pepperines. And then, what up? Yeah, so you also mention that this book was sealed by the hand of Saint Pellegrino. First of all, why Pellegrino? Okay, why not White Claw? Obviously, White Claw is far superior. And second of all, Pellegrino has openly, hated LaCroix. They have openly fought LaCroix over superiority of whatever type of drink they both are. So that one just doesn't make sense to me. Now we move on to the first book of Troy, or Trox. So here throughout the book, they mention waiting upon the coming of LaCroix. Now, how... I've drank LaCroix. I understand how bad it is. So how are they waiting for this LaCroix? They can't wait for the LaCroix if I've already had it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And you might point out, but James, this was written in the past. Yes, but this was also written by Matt Morris. Now, Matt Morris was born in 2001, and LaCroix was invented in 2004, I think. I could be wrong on that. It was invented after Matt Morris's birth. I'm pretty sure about that. Or before, either way. It was invented in a time where he would not have had to wait very long to try it. So, this also does not make sense. And then, here's the really good part that I love about this. Twice, the first book of Troy says, it talks about Coca-Cola saying, it doth haveth much more flavor, and their flavor doth be pleasant. Over and over again, they talk about how much better LaCroix is, even though they mention right here that it has much more flavor. I don't care. That's the whole point I drink or eat anything beyond, survival, is I want it to taste good. That's why I don't eat trail mix, okay? Because trail mix, other than the M&Ms and the peanuts, tastes horrible. Also, rice cakes. And then... Oh, okay, so here's where we get to my evidence. The first book of Troy says, their insides will become weak. They will all become fat. They shall become slower and less healthy. Now, my father, Nathaniel Roundy, has drank Coke probably since it was invented, back in the 1800s. Now, he's not a fat person, okay? He can probably run farther than I can, and he can definitely swim faster than I can. So, to say that drinking Coca-Cola makes you weak and fat is severely not true. Whereas I have had at least 3 LaCroix, and I have the body mass of an African elephant. Like, clearly it's LaCroix making people fat. And then it also says, their flavor doth be pleasant, but it shall prove to their end. Now, I have we're gonna set aside the book of LaCroix, because I have multiple sources that say it is actually LaCroix that kills you. So first, we have an article here by only the most trusted sources, babe.com. That's where I go to get all of my news and media things. Their article is titled, Studies Show LaCroix Ingredients Could Kill You, and then we'll ignore the second half of it that talks about how they love LaCroix. Anyway, so throughout the article, they talk about how LaCroix is being sued because it actually contains several synthetic chemicals, including linalool, which is a chemical used by pest professionals as insecticide for cockroaches, fleas, fruit flies, and moths. Now, I completely understand why they do this, because even the company understands that those who drink LaCroix are cockroaches and pests who should be wiped off the face of this earth. My cameraman just killed himself over that joke. Just like the LaCroix people. Okay, next we'll move on to my other evidence, which I actually did my own research in Google Docs. I'm very proud of myself. So I wanted to figure out how much LaCroix it would take to kill you versus how much Coca-Cola it would take to kill you. So LaCroix contains carbonated water, traces of natural flavors, and other things. Probably won't kill you instantly. Now, an excess of water causes hyponatremia, which is where blood sodium levels go like really high and your brain dies because it's not getting enough oxygen. It would take about 16 to 17 cans of LaCroix drinking back to back to kill you this way. Each can of LaCroix in the U.S. contains about 12 fluid ounces if you're drinking the average size. Now, when a 150-pound human being would have to consume 10.5 cups of sugar to die from it. Now, there is 200 grams of sugar in a cup, which is 2,100 grams to kill you. A 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola contains about 234 grams of sugar, which means you would have to drink 9 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola in one sitting to equal the death-inducing 10.5 cups of sugar. Now, I did the math, and I'm willing to show everyone who finds me my math behind it. But 16 to 17 cans of LaCroix times 12 fluid ounces is about 192 to 204 ounces to kill you. Now, 9 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola equates to 608 ounces. That is nearly 3 times the amount that you would have to drink Coca-Cola to kill you versus the amount you would have to drink LaCroix. Now, it was brought up to me that drinking that much Coca-Cola would probably also kill you, in the same way that LaCroix would kill you via the water, but that is irrelevant to the case study, and we will ignore it for now. So, there's my evidence, all my research. So now we will move back to the book of LaCroix, onto the second book of Troy. This book mentions twice the ancient Broviet. I will say this right now. This book and LaCroix, and so this book and LaCroix has no relation to our union. I will die before LaCroix becomes a supported part of this union, okay? I support potatoes, I support corn, I do not support LaCroix. And anyone who says I do will be Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you. Okay, back to the second book of Troy. It talks about them in this passage, and I'm assuming that them is referring to Coca-Cola. But throughout the book, in future books, it says the Coca-Cola people did not turn and in fact ended up slaughtering the LaCroix people. So clearly the LaCroix people did not succeed in their mission. It talks about how they were not swallowed up in the sea of Coca-Cola, but in fact they were. And then it also talks about, LaCroix should come out in the fullness of his carbonated wrath upon ye, and the statutes and judgment of the LaCroix upon the Coca-Cola people. Listen, Coca-Cola people isn't going to judge you for drinking it. We're not going to judge you for drinking other foods other than LaCroix. LaCroix will judge you for drinking other waters that don't contain pesticides. Like, clearly, don't drink LaCroix because they're going to kill you the moment you do because you've already drank other liquids. Like, stupid. And then it also speaks of there shall be liberty soon. Or there shall be a land of liberty soon. There's already a land of liberty. And that is America. You know what we drink here in America? Coca-Cola. Richard Nixon did not go on TV in the 1970s and hold a can of LaCroix. Instead, he held a can of Coca-Cola. What do you drink when you celebrate the 4th of July in true patriotic spirit, firing explosions into the sky? Coca-Cola. LaCroix will not create a land of liberty. Coca-Cola will. And that's final. Okay. On to the book of Rocks. Roy. So it talks about war commences between the Fanta Knights and the Coca-Cola Knights. Fanta is owned by Coca-Cola. So why they're going at war with each other makes no sense to me because, like, no matter what, it's profiting or unprofiting the same person. Yeah, so I don't know why they're fighting each other. And then it says, I perceive that thou art a LaCroix boy. I understand this is a work of fiction, but no one calls a child under the age of 18 when they are their grandfather at the age of probably 80 a LaCroix boy. That is something teenagers call each other in high school to make fun of each other, similar to calling people gay back in the day. So, yeah, that's just not appropriate. And quite frankly, I think it should be removed for the sake of all the young children watching this video. And then he says, I deposited unto LaCroix all the instructions on how to love LaCroix. So it's giving instructions to the same person on how to love itself. This makes absolutely zero sense. So that when it comes to Earth, they may taste and enjoy it. Again, it hasn't come to Earth yet, so how can this person that was born before LaCroix not have tasted it to write this book? It makes no sense. And then magically, this new tribe shows up called the R.C. Sproleans. Like, just out of nowhere, and then they try to compete with Coca-Cola. Like, R.C. Sproleans are basically the great value version of Coca-Cola. It's like, it's the bad shampoo your mother buys you at Target because, oh, it was 3 for $1 and your shampoo is stupid and you should stop buying it. Well, Ma, now my hair looks like a shag carpet from the 70s. It's your fault. So, again, great value version. I got a little bit off topic there. And then it says, many colonites came to anticipate the greatness of the coming LaCroix. I don't think I've heard a single person who says their favorite drink is Coca-Cola say, oh yeah, I like LaCroix. The fizzy water makes my taste buds rejoice. No one who drinks Coca-Cola has ever said that or will ever say that. Next, the book of Box, or Boix, or LaCroix, so boy. It's the book of boy. So he says, behold, I have witnessed almost all the destruction of my people. So throughout the chapters, it's been talking about, oh, we've been converting so many of these colonites. Oh, yay, we're such a good people. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, all my people are dead. Our people have been end of Infinity Ward, where just almost all of us are dead, and only the important ones are left alive. And then it's like, and then he makes an interesting joke. He's like, oh, either I'll witness the destruction of all of my people, or the coming of LaCroix. Well, LaCroix's coming a little bit too late, man. All your people are dead. Nothing. He's not gonna fix it. Like, it's shameful. So then he introduces this person named the King of Pepsi, or King Pep of C. Sorry, and then the King of Pepsi starts fighting the Colonites and all the other peoples, even though back in 2008, there was a person who worked at Coca-Cola, stole the secret formula and tried to sell it to Pepsi, but Pepsi instead ratted them out to the FBI instead. So clearly Pepsi supports Coca-Cola. So why are they fighting with them? And then it says that they fight with the sword of LaCroix, even though LaCroix hasn't come yet according to this book. So how can they fight with the sword of LaCroix if there's no LaCroix to make the sword of? Then he proceeds to say there was peace in the land of LaCroix had been achieved. Well, clearly not, because all of your people are dead. I'm sorry, when the Holocaust was happening, people were not saying, oh, there's peace in Germany right now. Oh, Europe's so happy. Yes, guten Tag. That wasn't happening. It wasn't peace, it was pain. Okay. So now we move on to the book of joy. Joy. So in the past chapter, it talked about how Boy was the son of Roy. But now it says Joy is the son of Roy, and in the next book we'll speak about it, it says Joy is the son of Boy. Now, I haven't been to Alabama, but I'm pretty sure I know how incest works. And this looks like a pretty good example of it. I'm not going to get into it for the sake, again, of the children watching, but LaCroix supports incest, people. LaCroix supports incest, so just keep that in mind the next time you go to your store and think, oh, they're innocent shining branding, oh, they must support, Christian marriages. No, they support incest. Now, he speaks about how he's going to share how great the taste of LaCroix will be. Even though throughout the book it talks about how great the taste of Coca-Cola is going to be. So, pick a side, LaCroix. Is Coca-Cola good or is LaCroix good? So then it talks about a guy from the nation of Fanta. His name is Panda, and he says, twistin' dope lean in the Fanta. A person who drinks Fanta does not sound like that. People who drink Fanta are from the East Coast, and they sit in their mansions and drink their Fanta. People who talk like that drink Pellegrino in their boardwalks in California while dying because of the hurricanes, forest fires, and droughts that are going on. Later, he talks about, behold, the unknown object on the horizon is LaCroix itself. Specifically, cherry lime LaCroix. Now, I went on to the New York Times, and they rated all 22 flavors of LaCroix. Guess what was the second worst flavor? Cherry lime. According to the New York Times, which clearly we can all trust and is supported by all people. So, yeah, and how did he know it was LaCroix? Because all the books talk about the taste of LaCroix, but no one ever talks about what LaCroix will look like. So how does he know that it's LaCroix if he's never seen one before? And then lastly, he talks about how he became the judge of the people, even though throughout the book, this is the final book, by the way, the second book of Joy. It talks about how this boy Joy becomes the judge of the LaCroix nation, even though it was implied throughout the text that LaCroix was going to be in charge of the LaCroix nation, not your boy Joy. And then people from the land of Pepper came unto his court to seek to speak to the king Pep of C. Why not go to Pep of C's court? Like, that's why they have separate courts. You want to go speak to my boy, the boy of Joy, you go to the boy of Joy court. But if you want to go speak to the king of Pep of C, you go to the king of Pep of C's court. It just makes no sense. And then, because the land of Pepper was a land of soda and not of LaCroix, there was no alliance to be made. But they're aligned with the king of Pep of C. Last time I checked, Pepsi was a soda akin to Coca-Cola. So clearly, they can't align themselves with the nation-state that is not of They can align themselves with the nation-state that is of Coca-Cola, but not of any other thing, even though they condemn every single kind of other soda. You gotta pick a side, LaCroix. Is it soda or not soda? Is it cola or not cola? And then eventually both the lands of Cola and Pepper faded away, even though you talk about all throughout the book how they destroyed half of your people. Your people are supposed to be awesome and really cool, even though they're getting destroyed by nation-states that are disappearing as the book continues. How are you letting this happen? No one was saying, oh yeah, the English are so mighty, as they slowly lost their empire to the Americas and slowly independent nation states. Everyone was saying, oh, the English suck, because they lost everything and now they're just like a tiny little island that can't even stay in a European Union for more than 30 years. And then finally, it talks about how the nations of Coal and Pepper, as they were fading away, they were putting themselves into stores. And then LaCroix was also putting themselves into stores, hoping that one day everyone would join in their enjoyment of the glory of the LaCroix. Unfortunately, there's still a debate. I still buy Coca-Cola from a store, and I still hate LaCroix with a burning, fiery passion. Like, you failed your one job. You had this great nation state, and you said, oh yeah, we're going to put ourselves in stores with these other two people. And then they utterly obliterated you. Your stocks are going down by 50% a day. Like, they made a massive drop. They lost like $555 million in a day because of how bad their sales prices were going. So think about that the next time you try to support LaCroix and the Book of LaCroix. But I said I had one last point. Okay? Two last points, actually. So first of all, it's called Another Testament of Matt Morris. Now, the last time I went to Goodwill, I didn't see another book like this that said it was from Matt Morris, and I don't see it being sold at any other store other than Grandma's Bargain Bin on Exit 68 in Oklahoma. So yeah, I don't know why this is another testament, when clearly there's supposed to be a first testament. But then finally, it's called the Book of LaCroix. Now clearly this is supposed to be a reference to the Book of Mormon. Which is, of course, book of the Mormon Church. Now, it is collectively agreed upon that the Mormons are absolute lunatics. So clearly, with the Book of LaCroix basing itself off of the Book of Mormon, they are only further confirming that they themselves are lunatics. Therefore, they should not be trusted with anything, given the evidence I have shown you in this video, and the fact that they base themselves off of a group of lunatics. And now we will have a section for the author, Matt Morris, to give his rebuttal. Thank you, Matt Morris. Unfortunately, that portion of the video had to be edited out due to heresy and controversy. You have been silenced. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Next week, we will probably do another book review if I can find Matt Morris's Other Testament in the garbage heap in the south of California. If not that, we'll probably read something stupid like Baby Shark, the animated story. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'll see you guys next time.